Greeting fellow modelers. Well, let's just do a quick review of the scissor and plane kits that I have done and maybe you would be interested in building. So first up, we have the Panavia Tornado. If you look at it, it was a beautiful build with the plastic canopy that I made in the latter half, air brakes, which really turned out quite well. This model, I would say on a difficulty level of 1 to 5, I would say about 4 for the things that I did to it. However, it was really good. Like if you look at the fuel probe and then you look at just how I did the air brake, that was awesome. I will leave a link in the place above that you can see how I built this. Pay careful attention to the input on the big fin and how you transform the nose cone circle to the square fuselage. It was really a great build, really enjoyed it. And I think this was one of 3 that I decided to build from Operation Granby, where it was the first Desert Storm campaign that Britain used 3 fighters, 3 iconic fighters from the Cold War. So yeah, that's it. Just a little bit of shaving had to be done to the root of the wing. Of course, you put in a toothpick and you made it come alive. The underside, I really love how the model come together. Shout out to Brent for the recolor and to Bruno for the design. Really awesome. The cockpit, however, was not supplied with a kit. That was scratch built. You can see the detail in the build from the link. So check that out. But this was really a great model. Really love this one. Up next, we have the Chengdu J-20. The Mighty Dragon. Now, this is a big aircraft for a fighter jet. When I look at it, it was really beautifully done. Really complicated fuselage one piece. And the landing gear, a little bit extra. As well as just putting in like the forward infrared looking flare. But it's really a beautiful jet. That flare, I painted blue. And it just amazed me how it came together. You can check the link in the detail. The canopy, of course, is cardboard and just solid, which I painted gold watercolor. Put 2 cuts in the leading edge to follow the actual drawing and then to just give it a bit of a tilt, and that way it really comes alive. I really loved how it turned out. Really good work. So yeah, you can check out this build. Just follow the link. You're good. This model I truly love. I think this was the very first one I built that was really complicated in my opinion, that I said, yes, need to do more French model. This, the Potez 630, beautiful model. I could see easily how this could be mistaken for a BF-110 heavy destroyer during World War II. This is a pre-war fighter from the French Air Force, and to get that silver coated, I use very little silver color that was washed out. That's water paint, to just paint rough layer on the areas, and then I coat it with superfine varnish, oil varnish, and that way the silver popped. The inner part where you have the green, the olive drab as I call it, that was then painted in matte varnish. I love this kit because 1, I put little details like the pitot tube on the nose of the fuselage and the landing gear detail. I went into extra length to make sure it represented the model, and it came out just right. One of the times when I wish I had used transparent canopy, but you know what? It worked, and I love how this model look. Look up for the details of this one and probably give your hand a try at building this. And here is an incredible aircraft, for me at least. The profile and the function just fits one in the same. The Junkers Ju-87, and I loved the color scheme on this model. I mean, just look at it. Really love this build. I love especially the wheel pants. And in the kit, it provides a single 1,000-pound bomb But just look at it. Again, I wish I did this with a transparent cockpit to bring a little more realism. I added though the dive brakes underneath, and I extended the ailerons and control surface on the trailing edge of the wing. Just extend them from the main wing, and that added to it, including that slight curve in to the spinner that was added. And you see the full tutorial if you look on the information provided on the screen. But look at it, a beautiful model at 100 scale. Paper models really can look amazing. So click the link. I think it's either on the left or the right, but click that link there. Now check out the Leo 451. This actual paper model was another beauty from the French Air Force pre-World War II. Now, the amazing cannon that's on the back, that's seriously some heavy hitting firepower. Twin engine, light bomber. And you look on the underside and you see that ventral observation slash gunner position. That was amazing. I love the fact that I was able to add details like just making the compound curve for the nacelles, as well as you look on the inside and those pitot tubes and the other sensors that just bring the model alive. Those small things really make a huge difference. The landing gear arrangement was pretty unique. Had to research it, but you know what? It came out quite well as the tail wheel. You look at this model and tell you what, the fin is what stood out to me. The fact of that profile is just unique. Like almost they had no lack of imagination when designing fighters back then. Really a beautiful model. You should check it out. Maybe you are into these type of bombers. Build yourself one. It's really a good model. On a scale of 1 to 5, I would give this like probably 4. Yeah, 4. This menacing shark that was seen for what it was back then in World War II also fought with an Axis power, the Italians. This, the BF-109 from the G series. I love those humps that is located on the wing, starting from the leading edge going back. And the Erla canopy, the Erla hood as they call it. This one here has the fuselage. It was really small. I was surprised at how small the Messerschmitt fighter is, even at 100 scale. And yeah, I just love the overall look of this model. You can check it out. Key features for this for me was to make sure build the nose correctly. Once you got that spinner down pat and you put on the air intake that's on the side, you're pretty much good. Really a decent model, even though it might be a bit on the small side. Really sharp. I love that it was purpose built. This one here is a must-have for any World War II collection. Up next, you know it, it is the indomitable F4U-4 Corsair. I mean, look at this beauty. My only regret is that I started doing transparent canopy too late. But look at the immense details of this kit. I mean, from plan view, the whistling depth is really awesome and accurate. There are a few additions. I made it that the cowling flaps could open. Really great. I made it also that the prop hub is in detail. You sand that down, it looks perfect. At a distance, you could not tell that this was paper. And of course, the details like the landing gear details with the wheel notches having the number, the tail hook, really a great build. Highly recommended. Along with the naval series, you get this one. I mean, you can't go wrong with a Caesar plane 100 scale F4U-4 Corsair. You know that right along with the Corsair would have come the SB2C Helldiver. Beautiful model. Main takeaway, I made modification to make sure your tail wheel looks really big and solid because it's part of the profile, and that huge spinner up top. I think this is for the 4 Series, and especially added that exhaust, huge exhaust. Now we look at the profile of those monster landing gear, as well as the leading edge extension. You see those, and they really make the model stand out and stand apart. Now pay careful attention to even the underside, how it's done. Look at a lot of research on the internet, and you'll see the profile, cross section, how to build your model. Beautiful. I wish I had done transparent canopy for it, but you know what, it really came out great. Little addition to making the cowling flaps extended, just to add a little more realism to such a beautiful model. Try it. Look at this beauty, the British twin engine heavy fighter, the Westland Whirlwind. I think this model here was built for high altitude interception, and yet still it also excelled in its role as a fighter bomber. The only drawback this had was the fact that the engine wasn't giving it the sufficient power that was promised in its design. Look at the bomb load. You get those with the kit, as well as the distinct engine. You look at the profile, and it's really a model of beauty. All you have to make sure to get straight is, one, make sure the fuselage and the nose looks really good. The next thing, straight up off the bat, you make sure that the spinner looked good. I had a little challenge with just getting the aerial figured out, and now I am going to get elastic thread to try and make sure this model remain firm and intact. I love the tail that made it distinct, the engine nacelles, which were huge, and the sleek design. Now get the spinner correct, get the nose correct, and everything else will flow. Love this model. You should check it out. Cost me $1 US. Let's talk about this amazing heavy engine bomber at 100 scale. This is the B-24 Liberator from Consolidated. Now, if you look at this model, this was what you would call the marker for when bombers were assembling, hence this unique appearance. I think they call it the spotted ass ape. You can correct me, but look at it. You could not miss this when trying to link up and form. I love the fact that little details like the aerial at the front, the turrets, the main canopy area, I wish I had done it transparent. Little additions like even the aerial on the top, the details with that heavyweight landing gear. I looked at models that were built, and I decided to add little detail. The supercharger, all that was part of the kit, really came out well. I love the fact that I spent extra time forming those engine nacelles. The details of it can be found. I think you should check this out. If you're a lover of bombers, you should check this one out. Link in the description, or look for the information up top. This model, the Hawker Siddeley Buccaneer, Blackburn Buccaneer. You can imagine that they were the same set of people who did the Harrier. Now look at this model, beautiful. I think this was the second one in the 3 plane series that British used in Desert Storm with Operation Granby. Challenging. On a scale of 5, this is 5. Now pay particular attention to the fin and the air brake. Many of these features here was beautiful. To have an easier time, I would say check out the guide that I have in how I built this model. You can check it out before you build your own. Even complications with the engine exhaust and up front, there are several things I wish I did different, but you know what, overall it turned out good. Especially the canopy. I was amazed that the canopy turned out the way it did, and was really happy with it. Especially when you look at the navigator section, You see even his own windshield for when he's ejecting. Really nicely done. Saw it in real life, a beautiful aircraft. Quite British if you ask me. So if you're interested, take a look at the full bill and then give your hand a try at it. Really nice, really lovely. And here is the final in the 3-plane series from Operation Granby. This is the Jaguar. Now, it's a French-British build, and it is really amazing that this paper model came out quite well. Love the fact that I could have done the sidewinder on above the wing. It just looks unique, strange, out of place, but it did work. And the cockpit, of course, came from the P-51. I think it's a P-51 who started this whole ball rolling. But I just love, even from the profile, it does look sleek. You may think it's a small aircraft, but when I put it together with the others, I was surprised at how large this aircraft is. So that's it. This one here, soon to be completed. Hence, I don't have a build for it now. It is coming. The full edit, that is. And here, the model that started it all with me doing plastic canopy, the P-51D Mustang. I think Brent was the one who started to put in cockpit detail, and because of that, I'm forever hooked. You look at this model, no matter which way and which profile you look on it from, it's really incredibly beautiful at such a scale. To get that sheen, I use super fine gloss varnish oil on the area that's supposed to be metallic, and matte varnish mainly on the nose area. This was Detroit Mist. And I hope that you really enjoyed the first block of series in Scissor and Plane that I present to you. You should check out this one if you're interested in building it. I tried to go through step by step how it could be done. And it's really a pleasure doing these small models. On top of all this, I'd like to thank my Patreon members who made it possible. And for those of you who tune in every weekend, who support me with even just a like, a comment, please subscribe and share this with your friends. Until then, my friends, take care, enjoy paper modeling, be gentle to yourself, and catch you in another group build. Until then, my friends, take care, walk good, and above all, as always, one love.